Hi there, and welcome to iTWireTV. Today we're joined by Erik Costlow, the Senior Director of Product Management for Azul. Thank you so much for joining us, Erik.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. So I guess as a starting point, Erik, for the benefit of the audience who may not be too familiar with Azul, can you give me a brief overview of what your company does?
The easiest thing to say that Azul does is we do Java. We are a Java company that helps Java engineers and DevOps teams improve their applications, both from an operational perspective with better performance and cost efficiency, as well as a new offering that helps people delete some of the code that they don't have to maintain anymore.
Right. And is that new offering Azul Intelligence Cloud? I understand you've announced that. So, and I guess as well as deleting code that you don't need anymore, I suppose, what are the specific challenges that it addresses? How did Azul Intelligence Cloud come about?
Yeah, Azul Intelligence Cloud is the newest offering that we have. It came about just from talking to different customers and hearing their pain points. And one of the points that people regularly reiterated was that over the last 20 some years of Java being one of the most popular software languages in the world, they've just wound up with a lot of code that people have written that they still have to maintain, but they don't want to have that maintenance burden all the time. So, what we're offering with Intelligence Cloud is a way to monitor an application, figure out what code runs, and thusly what code doesn't run so that you can delete it and save yourself on future maintenance. So, it helps with that, as well as it has a security benefit so that you can prioritize some of your vulnerability scanning tools and figure out yes, the other tool says I'm vulnerable, but does my JVM actually load that code? When the answer is no, your work is a lot easier.
Hmm. That's nifty. And I suppose why is that necessary today in this market?
So over the last couple years, there's been an explosion of vulnerability scanning tools. In Australia, you have things like the Essential 8, where everyone is going through and scanning their applications to figure out, do I have CVEs or common vulnerabilities and exposures, or things that are generally bad as part of an application? As you'd expect, a lot of companies have those vulnerable pieces of software in their applications. But when you go to actually look at the way that software works, it's often just a transitive library. It's a dependency that never actually runs. So if you have to run around and fix every single location where there could be a problem, you never get to the places where there actually is a problem. So for us, having the JVM automatically prioritize where you need to deal with those security issues, it saves people time. And most importantly, they deal with the important issues first.
Okay, that's interesting. And I mean, today, DevOps environments, as we talk to companies, you see they're just becoming increasingly more complex. Why do you think that's the case?
The nature of everything is that it gets complex. What's hard is keeping things simple. So this is one of the reasons why I really like the new code inventory feature that helps people delete some of the code. Because rather than figuring out how to better manage things, rather than figuring out how to do more, we figure out what you just don't need anymore. And then it's not complex because it's gone.
It sounds good to me. So, just to be safe, I guess what JDK distribution does Azul Intelligence Cloud support? Is there a particular version that you need to be on?
So I always like when people run on the Azul JVM because it's a great JVM, but there's always companies where there's going to be an application on a Corretto JVM, a Microsoft build of OpenJDK, or just some other vendor for any particular reason. So one of the cool things that we have in the latest release is we have a Java instrumentation agent that you can just plug into any other JVM and still take advantage of your Intelligence Cloud vulnerability detection features even if you're not on the Azul JVM itself.
No, that's brilliant. No, I appreciate that. And I guess aside from eliminating, vulnerability false positives, apart from more efficiently charging new vulnerabilities, I suppose what other key benefits can I get out of Azure Intelligence Cloud?
The biggest benefit is the ability to actually delete that code because people just save huge amounts on maintenance. I've seen some applications where they're able to drop the code that they manage by 67% or so. So huge swaths of code turns out that never actually runs just because people have changed jobs, they've moved between careers, they've switched teams, and that code just doesn't need to be maintained anymore. So between the time of saving time and money on triaging of false positives from security tools and saving time really in perpetuity by not having to do maintenance anymore, it's pretty helpful to teams that run a lot of Java.
Yeah, well, that's brilliant. I appreciate that, Eric. You've given me a good understanding. I feel, yeah, I'm sold on Azul Intelligence Cloud. It sounds great to me. I suppose, is there anything else you can tell us about it that I haven't thought to ask you about?
Intelligence Cloud is a very handy way for people who run a lot of Java to really make it all better. So our goal is to help people who use Java take the absolute most out of it, improve their applications, continue upgrading between the different Java versions as new ones come out, and really just be generally happier on the applications that they have to work on.
Excellent. That's been wonderful. No, I appreciate that. You've been wonderful, Eric. That's I'm sold. And presumably people can just go to azul.com to find out more information.
Yes, we have an entire website about it that explains everything somebody would need to know.
Excellent. No, well, thank you so much, Eric. You've been awesome. And so that's been Erik Costlow, the Senior Director of Product Management for Azul. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much.